Hey Chip, it's Mark with SMNnews again. How are you, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. It's been a couple months. We talked before you guys played the Sirius Hair Nation thing back in September.
Absolutely, that was great.
How was that show for you guys?
Yeah, great turnout. Helped us a lot. Let everybody know that we're back in the game again. No record. And I think it was a success for not only ENUFF Z'NUFF but for all the bands.
Well, it's good to celebrate where music's been, and that people are still here. We're still doing it, still enjoying it, and still having fun. Because that's what it's all about, man.
Hey, if you looked at all those bands and their discography, collectively, all those guys together sold over 100 million records. No bands are doing that nowadays.
Not even close. It's interesting when you see the charts today, and obviously, Metallica just put out an album. They sold under 300,000 copies, which is 20 years ago that was nothing, and now that's the best-selling rock album in 3 years right now. It's crazy to see that difference.
Crazy. Back in the old days, they would consider that a failure.
And that's horrible.
Nowadays, you put a new record out now, and you sell 5,000, 10,000 records in the first week. You're in the Billboard Top 100.
That is completely
Back in the old
insane.
days, you have to sell 40, 50,000 units a week just to get in the top 200. When Ace's record came out, he sold, I forgot how many he sold, 18, 20,000 records in the first week. He was number 9 on the Billboard chart. The game has changed because everybody's pillaging the music. They want it for free, and it's not the old bands. They have a good chance of selling records right now because they'll go out and tour and they'll play in front of an audience, and that's how they'll make their money.
That's how it's. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but isn't that how most of the money is made now from doing your live shows?
Well, that way, and of course, movies, soundtracks, TV shows, commercials, branding of the song. That's the real money right there. You can get your song in a big movie or something, or a commercial. That's going to help you a ton.
Right, and that comes through your publishing.
That comes through the publishing usually. You can bands can. We did a deal with a publishing company. It was actually just through us. Harvey Weinstein called us and said he wanted a song for the movie that John C. Reilly was doing called The Promotion years ago. And they couldn't find the publisher. They called me directly. And they said, we just want to use the 45 seconds of the song for the trailer for the movie. And that pays, it's 5 figures. So they're out there. You just got to get a break and get a hustle. It's really tough for new bands. The old bands that have a little bit of credibility or a name have much better chance. I feel bad for the new guys. There's some good new bands out there, and it's going to be a difficult struggle for them. They have to go through the same template as we do now, when we're all on the same page right now. Everybody's one song away from being back in the game again.
That's true. Very, very true, man. So let's talk a little. You guys have a new album right now. So kind of a new old album, I guess, would put it. Is that accurate?
No, it's not accurate. It's a new record. Listen, if you went back and listened to the new Aerosmith record or the last Cheap Trick record or Foo Fighters or Green Day, you think those songs are written right before they made the record? Those songs were 10, 20 years old on a lot of these bands. They're just ideas they had, and they didn't put them out there, and they tweaked them up and fixed them up, and they got a record out. There's hundreds of bands, even the hip-hop guys out there. A lot of old stuff. They pillage samples from old material, and they put it together, and all of a sudden it's a brand new record. And that's how I look at this as an archival record. Songs that we had, ideas we had years ago that slipped through the cracks, and we went back and revisited them, and we put together a brand new ENUFF Z'NUFF album, showcasing the band as it was then and as we are today.
And what was it like for you guys to go back and get these old ideas kind of freshen them up a little bit and rehash them and come out with something that's new. What was that like when you go back and listen to those old tapes and go, wow, that was a great idea. Let's work on this. What does that feel like to you?
Well, it was like going to AA, and they have a thing called serendipity, a moment of clarity. Listen to those songs that brought back tons of memories. Making those records on 2-inch tape, everything was analog back then. You had to play your ass off because any imperfections you're going to hear on 2-inch tape. No room for error. The band in the studio playing live. We'd start those recordings. We were in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, tracking those songs at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with a big, huge SSL console, beautiful equipment, a Brinks truck full of cocaine, and tons of cocktails. And we would just sit there and we'd record all night until 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Next day, another band would come in there, whether it was Iview and Balloon the Bears or Chappelle or Jane's Addiction mixing their record. Whoever it was, they would come in there. We'd get kicked out of the studio by the morning. They'd tweak it up. Same thing with him. It was a wash, rinse, repeat. Same thing every day. And we just recorded tons of songs. And make no mistake, Donnie and I, when it came to the material, we were focused there. We knew exactly what we were doing. We wanted to write as many songs as we could. And there was so much material, we just ended up picking what we picked for the record, not knowing what was going to make it and not knowing what we were going to use until later on down the line. That being said, I saved everything, every DAT tape, every 2-inch tape we had, and I chronologicalized all the material, put it together in a nice folder. It was a beautiful catalog of material. And I can just go back and listen to stuff later on and see what I could use. And I was lucky enough to where when the great label Frontiers Records contacted us about a record, most notably Derek Shulman, who was coincidentally the guy who discovered ENUFF Z'NUFF in the early days. I started putting together material with stuff that Donnie and I did, and I sent him 3 songs. The label loved it, and I just put the rest of this stuff together. It took me not a lot of time, probably about 6 weeks of tweaking. This is overdubs and mastering, because I was working off 2-inch tape and I was working off of DAT tapes as well. And I listened to a lot of recordings, and I didn't want to really do too much to it because there was an energy to it that Donnie and I thought was very interesting. It felt really good. It was super electric. And it was right in your face, and you could hear the performances on how well the band was playing at the time. We were full of piss and vinegar. And what I did was I basically added, I didn't subtract because you couldn't subtract off the DAT tapes. And I just added a few little pieces to it. If you listen to it, Donnie and I listened to it, we were like, there's not a lot to do with this stuff. And we let's keep the original recording the way it is, and very minimal overdubs. Let's leave it as it was, which is essentially an ENUFF Z'NUFF live record in the studio. It really is. And those performances are so strong that it'd be silly for me, and it'd be a shortcut to thinking to start putting too much stuff on top. So, besides small little color parts, maybe I added some bass stuff because the bass was low in the mix. I didn't do a lot of stuff to it, I gotta be honest with you. The hardest part was mastering the record and making sure that it was rock solid. And I think after about weeks of going back and forth with the label, because they wanted drums louder, they wanted guitars in a certain place, the vocals, they thought maybe might have been buried in certain places. After weeks of going through back and forth with the label, we finally came up with something that both parties were happy with, and started putting singles out there. And it seems to me that a lot of people are really excited about the record.
Well, that's good. I mean, I think there's always a good feel. A buddy of mine, he plays bass with Lita Ford, and Lita just came through town recently here in Sacramento with Hailstorm and talking with him, and he was just so excited about doing this gig. And when he played earlier in his career, and there's more metal bands and stuff, but as he's grown as a bassist and he's done session work for Kelly Clarkson and stuff like that, he was just so appreciative of the crowds and the fans and the music. And it's great to see that enthusiasm out there. And I think as your fans, and like at the festival back at Sirius XF FM Festival here in Nation, there's just so much enthusiasm for it and so much excitement. And it's good to see that so many of us have not forgotten where we came from musically. It feels good.
Well, by the way, we just played with Lita Ford. They were terrific. We just played with them in Santa Rosa. And your buddy did a solid job. A real nice guy, too. I talked to the band afterwards, and real good band. That being said, those songs that all those bands wrote have left an indelible mark with people. You have to remember, when that music came out in the late 80s and 90s, those songs trigger memories. People, the first time they fell in love, graduating from high school, taking their first road trip, the first time they fucked. Those are memories that they stay with you forever. So these songs would trigger that. And they were good time songs. It wasn't about gloom and doom. It was about having a good time and partying, burning the candle at both ends, and a love that was there. And that's why those songs resonate. That's why they sold so many records, all those bands, because people remember that. And that's why there's a resurgence right now. And that's why bands like Guns N' Roses are out there on tour making $4 million a show playing songs, because those are memories that people can retain forever. And if you can go out there and provide a service as a musician to go out and play your songs that were successful at MTV and VH1 banged every single day on their network, and reach those people and give them 2 hours away from the riff-raff of what's going on today in the world, that's special. And a lot of rock bands and a lot of pop bands, a lot of just groups in general, have provided a great service. And without the fans, none of us would be doing anything. We'd all be out of work. So it's nice when you can connect with the people. And, for ENUFF Z'NUFF, we're super lucky, because here we are. I put this band together in 1984. I was a little kid with my brother. We had a vision. And it took us about 5 years, and we finally got discovered by Doc McGee. Put our record out in August of 22nd of 1989. And here we are. I think this is our 20th or 21st record, counting the live records and stuff that we put out. That's a lot of material. It's something to be blessed with. And I always said that I never envisioned the ending for ENUFF Z'NUFF. Success is what you make of it, the resonant design. And I still believe there's some gas in the tank, and I want people to hear the songs that we've created. And if they like it, they'll come out and see us live. And I think we have a really strong show live as well.
Well, speaking of live show, the last time we spoke, I think you mentioned a possibility of tour with Ace Frehley in the new year. Is that still in the works?
Yeah, if you take a look at our website, those dates have been up for a while. We've done a few shows with them already, but the tour starts on 18th of January. And we'll be out with Ace all through January and through February, and then I think in March we're going to South America with them too. So the first part of the year, there's a lot of shows at Ace. Very excited. I mean, he's got a new record out. His band is strong. It's a little heavy, but definitely a regular-face rock and roll band. He's playing his ass off, and I think it's fully fitting. We just finished up the Kiss cruise, playing 3 shows at Kiss, and now we're going on Ace Frehley for a couple months. I'm pretty happy that we had this opportunity. We'll be playing to good crowds and get a lot of chance to reach some new people, because I'm sure a lot of Ace fans aren't familiar with ENUFF Z'NUFF. So that's a wonderful chance for us to get out there and steal some new fans.
Well, I definitely look forward to that tour, to some live shows with you guys on that one. I mean, Kiss is kind of what got me into music as a child early on, and such a huge appreciation for that, and the genuineness of Ace, obviously, and you guys going out there to tour is going to be a fantastic package for people to come out and enjoy and lift a few pints and enjoy themselves and connect with old friends and new friends and enjoy what's out there. So it'll be a fantastic tour. And you mentioned South America. When's the last time you guys have been down there?
Last time I was in South America was in 2010, I think, maybe 2011 with Adler's Appetite, which is Stephen Adler from Guns N' Roses, myself, along with Alex Grassi from Quiet Riot, Michael Thomas from Bastard Pussycat. And it was like a little miniature all-star band, and we went over and played nothing but Appetite for Destruction, sold-out shows every single night, crowds went crazy. It was incredible, like the whole different culture out there. They really embraced rock and roll, and I think that I don't think he's ever been over there, and he has. It might have been in the early days, but he's got a great band, by the way. Richie Scott was playing guitar with them. He's been around for years. Chris Wise from the Cult playing bass, solid as a rock. And he's got a great drummer who sings his ass off. This guy named Scotty Coogan. So, in order to be nice, they got a real heavy, powerful band, and we're certainly grateful that they chose us to go out and support them.
Well, that's awesome. And, those South American crowds, those people, like you said, it's a different culture down there. They live and breathe it, and it's awesome. Just when I see videos of bands down there and the crowd is chanting and, any type of guitar solo, they're singing along with the guitar solo or singing along with the choruses and the verses, and they know every single word. It's amazing to see that. I love it.
You know it, bro. It's the every single time, every song. They're so passionate about their music. I love the country. I love playing over there. It's a tough flight, but they put you up in nice places, and I do try to do every single radio and TV show they put us on. And it's another home of the market for ENUFF Z'NUFF. It's the first time ENUFF Z'NUFF going over to South America, so I'm very, very pleasantly surprised that Ace has taken us, number one, and number two, some of our fans out there will get a chance to finally see the band in flesh. Because when I did the Adler tour, they came out with ENUFF Z'NUFF CDs. I signed them every single night. They know who we are. They're very aware of what ENUFF Z'NUFF has done. And it's only fitting that 27 years later, we get a chance to go over there and play.
Well, that's fantastic, man. As always, I always appreciate your time and thoughts and commentary on everything ENUFF Z'NUFF and everything else. Any final words for the fans?
Lounge is out December 2nd. For everyone that's ever supported the band, can't thank you enough. It's been definitely a long, illustrious ride. It's got its ups and downs, but we've stayed out there. We've dedicated our life to what we do. And without the fans, we wouldn't be together. So I appreciate all the love and support. I wish everybody a good holiday season. And hopefully I'll see everybody next year when we're out on tour.
Awesome, Chip. Well, look, man, thanks. Have a great day. I know you're busy with press. Wish you nothing but best for the holidays for you and your family, and we'll talk to you on tour.
Come out and see the show, bro. Come say hi to me, please.
Of course. We'll lift a pint, buddy.
I wish your family a prosperous holiday season as well. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Chip. Take care, buddy.
Really appreciate you calling me and talking. I appreciate you calling me and talking to me about the new record.
All the time, buddy. All the time.
All right, brother.
Thanks, Chip.
Thanks.